So I haven't said this a lot, but I'm ironically going to say it probably 2 months in a row. This might be the coolest wine that we've put in the club. It's not the first Verdejo we've put in the club, but it's definitely like the fanciest Verdejo we've put in the club to date. And it's crazy. And I'm super excited to talk about it. But we also have an unreal orange wine going in the club next month. So tough to say, really tough choice between two. But holy crap, this wine. Wow, can't wait to talk about it. So if you are not familiar with Verdejo with the 3 exclamation points, it's basically a project that any winemaker can be a part of that is supposed to be a bit of like a one-off experimental wine that they're doing. So it's tough to get a lot of quantity of them because they're normally experiments, so they're not making a ton of it. And yeah, and the main point of it is that they don't add any SO2. So it's like an experiment with not sulfuring the wine and doing something completely different than what you would normally do. So this one is from Microbio. We have a ton of their wines. I love Ishmael's stuff. And it is Verdejo that has been in an amphora for 7 to 8 months. So a long time to macerate and have that skin contact. And it's also been, I don't know if it's been in bottle since, yeah, I think it's been bottled at least since 2018, potentially early 2019. I don't know that for sure. But it's obviously had some time to just generally age because it's been several years now since 2017. So yeah, with all that in mind, just know that expect the unexpected, I guess. So the color, I just Coravoned it, so I don't actually have a ton right now. Plus I had to share so everyone else could try it today too. So the color is quite deep, which doesn't surprise me at all, considering it's been in amphora for many, many months. On the nose, oh man, it's like right off the bat, it's like, whoa, what is that? That is unlike anything I've smelled before. And it's like chestnutty. It's like got this lovely nuttiness to it. It's got this whole kind of like bruised apple, I'd say. It has, actually, let's just see how it was made. Yeah, so it has just, I don't know, so many things. So it's like baking spices, it's like sage or rosemary. Honestly, it's probably just all of it. A little bit smoky, could be like smoked, honestly, maybe like smoked fruit, like a smoked peach or something could also be there. And it has a bit of like sweetness to it. It's a bit honeyed, which makes sense because it's been a while that it's been around. But it's like actually smells like honey, not like honeysuckle or whatever. So yeah, I could dig through probably 100 more. Well, maybe not me personally could think of 100, but there is just a lot that you can pick through in here. But let's go ahead and try it. Whoa, it's just so unusual. It's like rich and creamy and tasty. So probably, I mean, he hasn't done anything to it, so the assumption is it's had likely a lot of leaf contact as well in the 7 to 8 months in amphora. That with the honey note gives us like this, like it's like the bruised apple has honey on top and like this like sweetness to it. This doesn't taste at all like a sweet wine, I would say. It's like got great acid, nice structure, medium bodied, long finish. And it's just kind of like this nutty, candied nuts. I don't want to say candied almonds, but I don't think it's almonds. Candied chestnuts. I don't know, some kind of nuts that is just like holy smokes, it's not going away. And you don't want to because it's really delightful, but very specific. So luckily you're in the Orange Club, so you're expecting stuff like this. All right. Let me revisit it and then we'll talk about pairings because this is an interesting one to pair. I forgot to mention too. So high tannin, the acid is honestly like not super high. I would say it's medium acid, but like the right amount. Actually, I don't know. My mouth is still pretty wet. It's probably like medium plus, like heading towards high acid, which I think is really a benefit for this wine with all the kind of like deep age qualities to it, if that makes sense. It has a bit of like a sherry note to it, which again would make a lot of sense considering I've been talking about nuts, nuttiness, and honey, which makes sense. I don't know exactly what the amphoras look like, but it's likely that it had a bit of air contact, and with that, it would be slightly oxidized. So I'm really enjoying that in this wine. The alcohol content's not super high; it's 13.5, so it's not like it's doing anything to that. But yeah, it certainly has some parts that remind me of like a really tasty sherry on the finish in particular, not so much when you're first drinking it. So with that in mind, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to drink this with. I had no idea what to really expect when I opened it or when I poured on it. And it sounds kind of silly, but like I think I want it with dessert. Maybe it's not that silly because it has these sherry notes. And like we talked about the creaminess it also had at the beginning. So I just love the idea of putting it with like pecan pie with whipped cream on top. Like, holy smokes, that would be so good with this. Otherwise, I think doing something like that is a smoked meat or just smoked. I wouldn't want to go super deep on the meats though, because it doesn't have a ton of tannin. So maybe you could do like a brisket. No, I don't think so. Sorry. I would stick with not just desserts. There's certainly, it could go with regular food for sure, because it ultimately is dry. Like, man, this is tough. This is a tough one to pair. Something that has nuts in it, I guess. At the end of the day, let's think about what it has, and it has the creaminess, has the nuts. Obviously, that's how I ended up at the pecan pie. But if I was going to do something with food, like nut crusted chicken, is that the thing? There's like something out there that like you crust it in nuts. I know that you do that with cheese. Oh, honestly, also cheese, funky cheese, so good with this. Yeah, that's a good one too. So I'll scale that, but like, yeah, nut crusted meat. I don't know, like chicken breasts. Probably would be good with like some carrots in there. Like you can make it work, but if you really want it to shine, I've decided now I'm going to put it with a nice cheese board and potentially also save some and have it with some kind of dessert after. So enjoy the craziness that is Verdejo. It's a fun one.